The Cotswold Way is a 100-mile trail from Chipping Campden to the Roman city of Bath. The trail follows the western edge of the Cotswold Hills, journeying through rolling pastures, Neolithic burial barrows, stately homes, historic battle sites, old woodlands, and of course the honey-coloured villages that make the Cotswolds so special and unique. Like I was, you'll hope to be captivated by the pure beauty and charm of this winsome land, as well as its intriguing ancient history. The Cotswolds are truly unique. Frozen in time, it's almost as though you travel back to the 18th or 17th or even the 16th century, with the old stone buildings and the natural landscapes remarkably well preserved. I hiked this trail in August 2024. The weather was generally sunny and mild, with the odd atmospheric misty day. This is the only long distance trail to date which I've hiked without my tent and camping supplies, as I opted for alternative accommodation along the route, such as camping pods, shepherd's huts and guest houses. As with all of my trails, I met plenty of lovely people, as well as an array of adorable animals, domesticated, wild and farm animals alike. Taken on undulating terrain of the continuous rolling hills, I faced challenges, but each day on this trail was truly as wonderful as the last. So come along with me as I navigate this charming, rustic and quintessentially English part of the world on the Cotswold Way.
More information can be found at gwr.com/revenue protection.
I arrived in Chipping Campden around midday after being up since 5 AM to catch 3 trains and a bus to get here, so to finally reach the starting point after a long day's travelling to be greeted by this iconic market town was absolutely wonderful. The market hall, the landmark of Chipping Campden, lies at the centre of the village. It was built in 1627 by the town's wealthy benefactor, Sir Baptist Hicks, built out of the local honey-coloured stone to provide shelter for traders. Back then, townsfolk would trade goods such as cheese, butter and poultry. The stone ground, lovingly worn down by centuries of bustling trading, you can almost hear the shouts and echoes from market traders long since gone. In the 1940s, the market hall was almost sold to an American, but the local people heroically raised the money to buy it before the Americans could. The locals then decided to give it to the National Trust so that people, young and old, locals and tourists alike, can continue to cherish this delightful building for many years to come. Feeling pretty hungry and needing some dinner, I found Michael's, a quaint Mediterranean restaurant which served more as a cafe in the early afternoon. I ordered eggs Florentine, which is my favourite breakfast dinner dish when I'm out and about. It was delicious. The restaurant was so cosy, relaxing and well decorated, with unbeatable views of the historic market town. Before beginning my hike, I took a few minutes to wander around Chipping Campden's market hall and village centre just to take it all in. Chipping Campden is one of the best preserved and most historically important Cotswold towns. It was a planned town of the late 12th century. It was granted a market charter by King Henry II in 1185. It was then known as Campden. As in Old English, Campden meant enclosure, camp meaning open space and denu meaning in the valley. Chipping meant market in Old English, so Campden became Chipping Campden, and naturally over time, Chipping Campden. The importance of the wool trade over the centuries led to the market towns of the Cotswolds to gain substantial wealth, and still today, the Cotswolds is a wealthy district. This is reflected in the well-preserved buildings and landmarks, as many of the buildings along this high street actually date as far back as the 14th century. So I had officially started the Cotswold way, with a full tummy and with all the optimism in the world. Walking through such a significant place that I'd only ever seen through photographs is truly perspective altering, as you now feel a part of its story. When the Romans invaded England, they brought with them sheep. These sheep mated with the local sheep, creating a breed known as the Cotswold Lions, which produce some of the finest wool in all of Europe. The wool of the Cotswold Lion was known as the Golden Fleece, and it was an important export. It not only played a major role in the development of many Cotswold towns and villages, but also in the finances of the nation. However, as times have changed, the Cotswold Lion are a very rare breed, and although not an endangered species, the species is classified as at risk. With a wonderful and lustrous fleece and fantastic temperament, it's no wonder that they were a favourite to farm. However, since there are only about 1,350 breeding ewes of the Cotswold Lion in the country, they are considered at risk. There's an association called the Cotswold Sheep Society, and they've been absolutely pivotal to the rescuing of this breed of sheep from the brink of extinction. I recommend looking at the Cotswold Sheep Society, as they actively run social and educational events and even have a little online shop on their website, all to raise funds in the name of preservation, perseverance and culture. When it comes to trail planning, particularly the Cotswold Way, with navigation and stops for the night, most people don't know where to start or can't afford to spend a couple grand on upper market tours. So I found a company called Big Trail Adventures, who plan your adventures for you based on your own hiking pace and build you a custom itinerary, give you details for baggage transfers if that's your thing, find a variety of available accommodation to suit you on the trail, which you book directly, saving approximately 40% of what you'd normally pay through tour operators, which I'm sure you guys, like myself, would much rather spend on nice cafe stops with tea, sandwiches and scones, or a few pints and pub food at the numerous Old English taverns along the trail. You also get their app with door-to-door GPX to track your location and progress, so it's very hard to get lost. And you can also give your friends and family your live location info as you hike if you choose to, which is super important for safety, especially for me as a solo female hiker. So just a great option for anyone looking to hike your own Cotswold Way adventure or any other adventure, especially on a budget. I reached Dover's Hill, my first high viewpoint of the trail. Every year on the first Friday after the spring bank holiday, Dover's Hill echoes with the shouts and cheers of competitors and spectators as the Robert Drover's Cotswold Olympic Games are celebrated. These games first began in 1612 and ran until 1852. They were revived in 1963 and still continue to this day. The games begin with the traditional marching of bands and firing of cannons. Some of the event's activities include the tug of war, running and wrestling, and the most prestigious and fiercely competed for event is the shin-kicking tournament, where contestants hold each other by the shoulders and try to kick their opponent's shins to force them onto the ground. The stickler, or the judge, has to make sure that shins are kicked before a fall can count. Kickers wear traditional white smocks that would have been worn by local shepherds, and they're allowed to fashion a protective shin guard made from straw. The evening is then brought to a spectacular end with the lighting of a fire, setting off fireworks, and a torchlit procession into Chipping Campden. Hey guys, so yeah, I'm here on the Cotswold Way. It's the 12th of August 2024 and it's 30 degrees. I know it looks very overcast, but oh my god, it is so warm. It was dead sunny before, but yeah, what do you expect? It's summer, 30 degrees, I can handle only just. Yeah, so as you know, Cotswold Way, I'm just kind of about 2 miles into it. So left Chipping Campden. I had to get 3 trains and a bus to get here, so woke up at 5 AM and got ready. Cameron gave me a lift to the train station on his day off, bless him. Had to do it really early, but he's happy to do it, he's wonderful. So yeah, got the train at about 7. 3 trains later, I'm in Moreton and Marsh, and then is it the number 1 or the number 2 bus, or I think either, take you to Chipping Campden. A 10:45 bus to Chipping Campden. Got here, realised, oh my god, I've not eaten anything today. I was starving, so I thought I'm gonna just nip into a little cafe bistro thing, and had an amazing eggs Florentine. Oh my god, and I've had 2 black coffees. so I should be energised for this. Although this is actually going to be a fairly short day in comparison to, you know, my other multi-day hike. So I'm only doing about 5 miles today, because given how unreliable trains are and public transport today, it's actually been like spot on. So luckily I've not had to worry about that, but I thought I'll give myself a buffer. I'll only walk about 5 miles because I'll arrive in the afternoon. If everything's on time, which it was, I'll arrive about midday. And if there are delays and cancellations, and it could even be, you know, it'll be later, it'll be into the afternoon. So I thought 5 miles to start with. The place that I'm staying, I'm not currently walking, because there's a road there and it'll be loud. So I'm just kind of staying in this field while I explain. So, and just, you know, enjoy the beautiful views of the field and everything. So this is actually the first time that I've done a multi-day long distance hike without bringing my camping equipment and my tent. So my bag is much lighter, thank god. It's still, you know, it's got a lot of, you know, some weight in it, because it's got my food and my water and my clothes and everything, and my power bank, but it's not, you know, it's not got my tent, it's not got my cooking equipment, my sleeping stuff, sleeping bag, all that sort of stuff. I thought, because wild camping on the Cotswold Way is pretty much a no-go. There's like, unless you want to camp in a farmer's field, you're not going to get anywhere with wild camping really. That's what everyone said, and I've looked online And in terms of campsites, there are campsites along the route. As far as I could find online, they were either few and far between, a little bit off the trail, or fully booked. Because it's August. Like, let's face it, it's the summer holidays for kids, and you know, everything's going to be booked. But weirdly enough, there were loads of options for accommodation. So I've been on things like Airbnb and Booking.com, and just searching kind of like camping pods and shepherd's huts. So that's what is going to accommodate, like that's the type of accommodation that is going to be on this trail. So a bit different, because like I said, every other long distance multi-day hike I've done, I've carried my entire camping equipment with me, and I've camped for at least some of it. If some days I do stay in accommodation. So tonight I'm staying in a shepherd's hut just outside of Broadway, so just after Broadway Tower, which is a couple miles that way. Just after Broadway Tower, I'll get into a little hamlet, and that's where I'll be staying. It's on Rookery Farm, and it's a little shepherd's hut. So check-in's not until 3, and it's currently 1ish, I think. Yeah, it's 8 minutes past 1. So I've got, you know, a couple hours to get there. I say a couple hours to get there. I shouldn't arrive like within a couple hours. Basically, I'm taking my time because check-in's not until 3. So I've got 2 hours basically, so I'm not in a rush at all. Oh wow, just look at this field. I know it's just like grass, but I hope it shows up on the camera as nice as it looks here. Anyway, I'm going to get a move on in a second. Just wanted to chat and let you guys know what's going on. So tonight is a shepherd's hut. Some other nights are going to be like staying in people's homes and things like that. You know, like Airbnb, when they like let out the rooms and things like that. So that'll be interesting. I've done that a couple of times. And it's, you know, it's gone well so far. I've met some very nice people. And another night is like a camping pod, another night is like a place all to myself. So it's a nice mix of different types of accommodation. So it'll be very exciting. And as always, yeah, I'm hiking this solo. I enjoy my my long distance solo hikes. I'm very lucky with a flexible job, so I can kind of just, as well as booking holidays, move my days around, use my hours and all that stuff. So people do often ask like how I'm able to do this and work. I just have a really flexible job basically, luckily. So so yeah, that's why, and again, that's why I do it on my own. I've done some walks with Cameron, but his job's, you know, like it's a proper full-time, full-on design job. So so you know, he has to book his time off well in advance. Anyway, here's the noisy road that I have to cross, and onwards to Broadway Tower, and then the little shepherd's hut on the farm that I'm staying at. There are so many bugs right now, like flying all over the place. You can't see them because they're those tiny little mayflies, but they're just getting like stuck to me. I can feel them everywhere. Anyway, I'm about a mile from Broadway Tower, and I think for the day I'm roughly at the halfway point, which again, it's a very short day. So I think I've done about just over 3 miles. So how I'm kind of navigating this, and to gauge how far in I am, I'm using the hiker app. So as you can see, that's where I am, that's where I started, and where I'm staying tonight is just around, you see that spike, a little bit south of that. So yeah, so it's a little bit off the route, but then I'll just be rejoining it. It's like a mile, if that. So yeah, about a mile off route, so I'll be doing an extra mile or two just based on that. But yeah, as you can see, that's the hiker app. That's what I use because it's got offline maps and all that stuff. If you want a yearly subscription and you want 50% off, you can use the code TinyPineDesignsUK. It's brilliant. I use this for all my hikes. Like, I'm not just, I've not been told to say this. You'll see my earlier videos before I even had a promo code for it, that I'm like, oh, I'm using my hiker app to just navigate and all that sort of stuff. So it is genuinely what I use. And it's cool because you can get like I said, offline maps, 3D maps, satellite, historical, yeah, so you can see that. And if I've activated 3D maps now, so you can see, how cool is that? It's pretty flat, you know, got a bit of a hill there, so, you know, obviously you can read the contours, but it's always so useful to see an actual slope. So just pretty cool, yeah. Loads of other features. You can record your own hikes, which I've done as well, and post them, so it's brilliant. That's all really. Yeah, again, the code is TinyPineDesignsUK, 50% off the yearly subscription. That's like 20 something quid. I get a little bit of a kickback from it, so if you are like looking into getting an app with GPS tracking so you'll never get lost, then you might as well get that. Hiker, it's pretty good. And they've got millions of hikes around the world on the app, even like little ones that you would have never heard of. That's how I find my hikes as well, to be honest. I as well as going on the LDWA website, the Long Distance Walkers Association, sometimes I find my hikes on there, but sometimes I just go on the hiker app on the search feature and it'll pop up with ones in the area, or whatever area you're looking at, popular ones in the area and all that stuff. Anyway, so yeah, that's all really. But back to all this. I've got all these little flies stuck to my arm because my arms are sticky because of sweat and sun cream. Oh, it's just such a, doesn't look hot, but it's hot. It's 30 degrees, it's a hot day, and it's very muggy, the air's thick and warm. So I think this might be the hottest day on the trail, so it should get cooler from now on, which will make it much easier. Not that I'm struggling. It's been pretty easy going, actually. So there's been like one incline, and that was pretty steady, easy enough. That was just out of chipping Campden, and since then it's been nice and flat. And I'm just seeing it opening. I've been walking along this dirt road for like an hour. And it's just been the same, so I can't wait to see some views. So I can see some coming up now, some nice looking fields. limestone trail. Cool, so I'm on 2 different trails at the minute, and this little kind of, I suppose it's a hill, you know, it's quite high up. It's called Fish Hill. I'm sure you guys can hear the noise of the road through there. That road's called Fish Hill, and this little hill's called Fish Hill. So there's some more walkers there. That's stunning. That was lovely to walk through that wheat field. It was so dense. It was a lot of fun. Oh wow. Nice and shaded. I tell you what, this heat is bringing out some really nice smells. Like all the flowers around you can just smell because the heat is like bringing them out. So that is one good thing, and obviously the weather, it's just beautiful weather. You know, I'm not one to complain about the heat really, unless it's like ungodly. This isn't actually too bad. I say that. I think I'm just remembering what it was like on the coast to coast in May 2023 during the heat wave at the end of May. Oh my god, that was awful. That was over 30, definitely. But this is apparently 30, and while it is very thick in the air, I don't know, maybe it's because there's a good amount of shade that I've been walking under, or a lighter backpack, I'm not sure, but I'm just so enjoying this. This is proper quintessentially English countryside, and of course once we see the little cute villages and hamlets in the Cotswolds that we'll be passing through, that's all very quintessentially English as well. It's just so nice. Here we go, Fish Hill. So if anyone wants to read any of this, then pause, wildflowers. Very cool. Listen to that. Oh my god. That's amazing. There were multiple information boards here of the Cotswolds and the Cotswold Way. They read, "The Cotswolds, designated as an area of outstanding natural beauty since 1966. The Cotswolds National Landscape is internationally recognised for its natural beauty and distinctiveness. The Cotswold National Landscape covers 790 square miles, stretching from Campden in the north all the way to Bath in the south. The Cotswold Way National Trail is 100 miles long, winding its way along the western edge of the Cotswold escarpment from Campden to Bath. Much of the Cotswolds is still working farmland. Beneath the Cotswolds lies a well-known section of oolitic limestone that stretches across England, providing perfect conditions for over half of England's unimproved Jurassic limestone grasslands, a vital habitat for plants, insects, birds and other wildlife. The Cotswolds is home to internationally important lowland beech and yew woodland. A network of hand-built dry stone walls covers the Cotswolds and is estimated to total around 4,000 miles in length. People have lived, worked and farmed in the Cotswolds for over 6,000 years. The area has a rich history, with many hill forts, long barrows, standing stones, Roman remains and battlefields found across the Cotswolds. The Cotswold Way National Trail will take you on a journey through a landscape steeped in history. Walking the 100-mile trail, you pass by Neolithic long barrows from 4000 to 2400 BC, Iron Age hill forts from 1200 to 600 BC, Roman remains and medieval cottages. Following the western edge of the Cotswold National Landscape, the trail passes through nationally important limestone grassland and beech woodlands, which are important habitats for a variety of flora and fauna. Amazing views can be enjoyed from a number of high points along the route, including Cleve Hill, the highest point in the trail at 325 metres or 1,066 feet. The trail's looked after by local highway authorities and a fantastic group of volunteers, the Cotswold Voluntary Wardens, who you may meet while walking the trail. The Cotswold Way Association charity supports the funding of improvements along the trail. You can make a donation towards its future at cotswoldwayassociation.org.uk/fundraising. Broadway Tower is just coming to view now. Just there, peeking over that mound, right by the trees there. That's kind of like my where I'm going to leave the trail for today, and then, like I said, go off route for a mile or however long, half a mile, and yeah, head down into that little hamlet. Oof, I'm getting hungry again, man. Honestly, it was so nice walking through those woodlands because it was so nice and cool. Trees make all the difference, and it's such a lovely breeze right now, like just feeling good, feeling really good. Hey, you okay? You're breathing pretty fast. You do have some water there. I hope you're okay. It's a very hot day. Can't imagine what it's like under all that wool. Oh, so cute. Make sure you drink that water. Broadway Tower is an iconic landmark on top of the beautiful Cotswold escarpment. It was the brainchild of the great 18th century landscape designer, Lancelot Capability Brown. Broadway Tower and Park is a family-owned Cotswold destination set within a 200-acre estate of parkland, allowing visitors to experience great English heritage in an inspiring location. 15 feet below ground on the Broadway Tower estate lies a relic of the Cold War. The former monitoring bunker was once a part of a wider network of similar structures all around the United Kingdom, built to study and report the effects of nuclear explosions and the resulting radioactive fallout. The Saxon-style tower is the Cotswold's highest castle, and as well as exploring the nuclear bunker below, visitors can climb 3 museum floors, reliving its history and seeing how it would have been in late Georgian and Victorian times, before climbing to the rooftop viewing platform from which up to 16 counties can be seen. This was the site of an RAF bomber crash. The memorial reads, "At this location, on the 2nd of June 1943, at 14:15 hours, A.W. Whitley, Z6639 of number 24 OTU, RAF Honeybourne, Worcestershire, crashed while on operational training. In memory of Pilot Flight Sergeant Harris Gordon Hagan, Navigator Sergeant Richard Stanley Ted Phillips, Bomb Aimer Flight Sergeant Donald Herbert Kelly, Wireless Operator Air Gunner Sergeant Donald Alfred Marriott, and Rear Gunner Sergeant George Edward Ekins." The narrative of this fatal crash is that Whitley Z6639, while on an operational training flight, the pilot Sergeant Hagan was given a red signal by the airfield controller, and in making a circuit struck a hill in cloud 200 yards from Broadway Tower. First on the crash scene were 2 Royal Observer Corps, Ernest Hollington and Albert Lowe, who braved the flames to rescue Sergeant Ekins, who sadly later died, and the rest of the crew died immediately on site. In June 1998, an event was held to mark the 55th anniversary of the crash, with a plaque and painting placed in the tower's restaurant. At this point, I'd be leaving the Cotswold Way Trail for the day and would make my way back to Broadway Tower to rejoin the route the following day. I stopped by the Broadway Estate Cafe for some refreshments and a little browse of their shop because it was still 30 degrees out, it was hot and sunny, but it was obviously beautiful. And it was about a mile or so downhill to Rookery Farm, where I had a cosy little shepherd's hut waiting for me as my accommodation for the night. Hey guys. So I just got in a few minutes ago, and yeah, just been unpacking a few of my things, so I'll just give you guys a quick little tour. So obviously front door, you've got a mini kitchen, like a kitchenette there, fridge, cupboards, and you know, with dishes and glasses and mugs and stuff. Got a microwave. There is no hob oven in here, but that's fine, like I knew that, but there is a microwave. And through there is the bathroom, so toilet and cabinet there. Shower, you know, it's pretty nice, it's pretty basic, it's all you need really. And got a little seating area here. You've got a lovely view out there, like the fields and stuff, and the sun's really coming in, it's lovely. It's just a little bed section, it looks dead cozy, and yeah, it's got a kind of like a view of like a tree trunk, and then the other shepherd's hut. But yeah, it's nice and private enough, you know, there's curtains anyway. And yeah, just kind of brought my own little lights, which I'm glad about because there's only like this thing, and yeah, but look how cute it is. So I'm gonna make some food. I'm gonna probably do some sketching and watercolours and just chill out because I'm so hungry and so tired.
Dear Irene, I wish that you could be here. The apple trees have grown to be so tall. It's been years and tears between our time together. Little children running in the hall. I went looking for the reasons in the darkness. Could I really be that kind of man? And I think that I was taking you for granted. I'm afraid that might be who I am. Well, I came here to explain, but the car broke down again, and I walked home just to falling all to pieces. I guess you never knew the hole I fell into, but it got its teeth in me and it won't let go. I thought I was something pretty special. I guess that's how you think when you're so young. And I stacked the bricks so high they fell down on me. Just another guy whose time has come and gone. I've been running around with a crew of broken shadows. They don't give a damn about anyone. They got $100 bill left on the table. If you don't pull that trigger, man, don't carry around that gun. But I have memories, vacations by the sea, and now they're buried deep beneath the sand. But I'm just like a leaf that's blowing in the wind. Home is anywhere that I will land. Show my face to my reflection. I'm afraid I might turn into stone. Everything I do cries out for mercy. Sweet Irene, won't you pick up the phone? Sweet Irene, won't you pick up the phone?
Hi. You're brave. Hey. Oh, so cute. These are the most tame sheep I've ever seen. I just want to go for a little walk down here, and it's like they're not moving, which is cool, but it's making me a bit nervous. Like, they're just... Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry guys. You're right. See what I mean? I mean, it's really sweet and lovely, but it's so unusual. Hey guys. Why are you stuck like that? Wow. Oh my god. I'm so glad I came this way. Oh my god. Look at these views. I've never had this happen before. This sheep just came right up to me. Look. Please don't eat my clothes. No, no, no. Oh god, oh god. Not my ball. Don't piss on my ball. Oh my god. Oh my god. As if that just started happening. Yeah. I actually can't believe this. Like, what just happened? This sheep just came up behind me. And one just started pissing right near my bottle. I don't know if it went on. Right, I don't know what the deal is with you guys. Hey, please don't eat on my bottle as well. I can't believe this. It's cute but strange. Oh wow.